how the Niners will use Trey Lance against Houston. Real quick, I have a bad feeling that, look, we want to see Trey Lance in the offense, under center, running the offense the way Jimmy does. I have a feeling it's going to look a lot like Arizona, week 5. And even though they're saying that he's been better in practice, I'd like to see it for my own eyes. I have a feeling that we're going to see a lot of quarterback power running between the tackles, because although they would have you believe that playing on the scout team just develops you exponentially, I think they've kind of put him on the back burner, and now they have to rush him to the front burner, and they're going to use him the same way they did in the past. I hate to be pessimistic, but I'm afraid, and I'm almost daring Kyle to do it. Like, do it, dude. Just let us all down, please. We're looking forward to it. But the game plan's already made. What do you think?
I think it would be insanity, right? Insanity to do the same thing and expect a different result. And so my hope is that that's not what we see.
Mine too.
That Kyle's not insane, that he does put in a new game plan, that he goes to the fact that he wants this quarterback to be able to operate from inside the pocket first and foremost. Well, then how about the first couple of starts, we don't have him operating this crazy offense, right? Let's give him some practice doing what you said you would like him to be able to do first and foremost, and hope that it's then what Jimmy brings to the table plus his legs, plus his arm talent to push it downfield and outside the numbers. I'm also fascinated to look at it from the angle of what each game plan would tell us just precisely about how Coach Shanahan feels about Trey. Because if he does what you're talking about and we see a repeat of Arizona, it confirms everything that you're speculating about earlier in this show, that he doesn't trust Trey, that Trey hasn't progressed, that the 49ers have failed in preparing him for what should have been an eventuality.
Yes.
It will confirm that.
Yes. And it would be great if Kyle Shanahan was just kind of sandbagging it and pretending that he's not confident. And then early in the game, when Houston's selling out to stop the run because they think the Niners don't believe in Trey's arm, and they want to make Trey prove that he can throw the ball from point A to point B without hitting point C in the head far over there. Boom, first play or first drive of the game, play action shot. That's what Harbaugh did with Kaepernick. No one thought the Niners believed in Kaepernick. He was starting, like, he didn't even get everyone thought Alex Smith was going to start that week. It was a surprise that he got not benched, but that he was hurt. And everyone's like, well, they're just going to have Kaepernick kind of just hand off like people expect this week with Lance. He's just going to run and hand off. And then all of a sudden it was 20-yard pass, 30-yard pass, because Chicago was vulnerable to it. They were selling out to stop the run. It's wide open. So theoretically, the Niners could do the same thing in this game. I wonder if he'll hit the throw, because Kaepernick hit it. I don't know.
Kaepernick hit them all in that game against the Bears. It was very impressive. And it is true to Kyle Shanahan's persona that when he smells blood in the water, when he smells a way in which to attack a team, he will go all out in that effort and attempt to capitalize on it. And oftentimes when he's doing that with Jimmy at the helm, that's what feels like the problem, is that he's attacking a weakness in the secondary or over the middle of the field with a quarterback who just cannot play consistently when you ask him to throw 30, 35 times.
Here's the thing with Trey Lance. I really like him, but everyone acknowledged that his biggest weakness coming into the NFL was his accuracy.
Right.
And people compared him to Josh Allen, who was inaccurate but improved. The difference between them is, I watched Allen at Wyoming. He always had crazy confidence in his arm, even when he was missing people wildly. Like, he was arrogant in his arm. And the best quarterbacks are, like, very, very confident that they can, just in their arms, even if they're not putting it where they want to. Trey doesn't give me that vibe. Like, Kaepernick was so confident in his arm, he was a pitcher. He could have been in a major league pitcher. He believed in his arm. Trey is a guy that, to me, loses his confidence in his arm wanes. It comes and goes. And if he has a bad miss, it can affect him. And that's concerning to me. That's the one thing that concerns. Like, it's one thing to be inaccurate, but you got to believe in that arm. You can't shut it down. So I'd like to see him grow in that area. He's still very young and he could, but Kyler Murray has arrogance in his arm. So does.
He does.
Yeah, they really believe in their arms. I'd like to see that Trey does too.
It's interesting to think of that from the perspective of being conservative with the football, attempting not to turn it over, versus confidence in the arm, the ability to make that throw. I'll be now looking at that balance because I appreciate that fact about Trey, the fact that he only threw the one pick in the 2020 season, went all of 2019 without it. But part of that could be not trusting the arm, not pushing it into tight spots. It'll be interesting to see how that develops with the Niners.
Like, I've been watching Trey all year. And I've been filming his practices the last 3 days, because he's starting. And you guys can go on and watch it. I don't know if you've noticed it, but he'll be warming up with the ball boy, and the ball boy will have to make a lot of acrobatic catches, jumping, extending. I mean, frequently. If you watch someone like Justin Herbert warm up, I watched Justin Herbert warm up in Costa Mesa. It's like a jugs machine. Any body part you want, he hits consistently. It's like mesmerizing. And Trey's just not that kind of a thrower.
No.
And I love Trey. I really believe in him, but we all knew that was his weakness. And I'm just pointing out that's what it looks like. And I'd like to, this is the base level he needs to improve from.
Yeah, I can confirm that was the case in his warm-ups in Seattle when I was there in person before that game as well. That I remarked that on my channel and took note of it, that there were some times where he clearly threw it, up above the ball boy or whatever receiver was out there.
All the time.
And then you could see him practicing the motion, like trying to get the snap release of it. He's clearly still trying to work on whatever mechanics he attempted to change since college.
Agree. So I think the Niners will probably try to limit his throws. And I think Houston will probably try to get him to throw as much as possible, stop the run, probably run the ball themselves, force the Niners, like try to win the time of possession and get the Niners throwing.